A little bit about myself. I'm Emmeline. I'm people and culture consultant and personal and professional development coach with Intuitive Performance, where I help develop the human skills of organizations through workplace training, facilitation, and coaching. My passion and interest has been in human behavior, which is a key player in the successful leadership of teams and organizations. And I appreciate you spending your time with me today. And we're going to look at understanding leadership styles. So we know that there are 27 different leadership theories out there, and only the most recent identify the need to consider the softer human skills, and one of which is the trailblazer of emotional intelligence and leadership, Daniel Goleman's 6 leadership styles. So we're going to review his leadership theory and the 6 styles. And theory is a belief that a leadership theory ought to consider the traits, behaviors, and the situations at hand affect which leadership style the leader should choose to get specific results from the team. So what that means is that your company culture, your individual team members, and the projects or challenges you're looking to solve may require different leadership styles. The 6 styles you'll see are on the wheel there. So there's affiliative, democratic, commanding, pace setting, visionary, and coaching. So something to keep in mind is exceptional leaders may lean into their primary style, but have the ability to adapt it depending on the environment, the people, and the challenges ahead. So we're going to take a closer look at each of the styles, better understand the benefits, where they fall short, and what situations fit best for each style. Okay, so we'll start with Democrat. So the Democrat needs to build consensus among the team. They have the ability to everyone feel heard, which leads to high levels of engagement. They're great for creative, innovative collaboration, and they're best at bringing teams together to make a decision. So I'd love if you would head to the chat to see a conversation get started about when you feel a democratic style is very effective. And if you tend to lean to that style and you want to share, go for it. Oh, Natalia from New Jersey, great. And I will share an example of a Democratic leader who is Mary Barras. So she's the CEO of General Motors and has demonstrated the elements of democratic leadership in a number of ways. One is she emphasizes the importance of inclusive decision-making processes there. So she's encouraged open dialogue, active participation from employees across all levels of the organization. And this approach allows for diverse perspectives to be considered and fosters that collaboration and shared decision-making. She's prioritized employee engagement by actively seeking input and feedback from the workforce. So she's implemented programs and platforms that enable employees to contribute ideas, voice concerns, and provide suggestions for improvement. So that's empowering the employees to make them feel really valued as contributors to the company's success. Another way is emphasizing the importance of sharing information and updates with employees. So enabling them to stay informed and aligned with the goals and direction. That transparency helps build trust and encourages employees to participate effectively in decision-making processes. Barb believes in the empowering teams and enabling them to take ownership over their work. So what she did was decentralize the decision-making to some extent, allowing teams to have more autonomy and authority in areas of their expertise. So that approach fostered that sense of ownership and accountability and innovation among employees. And then she also fostered participation and continuous improvement. So emphasizing the importance of learning from mistakes, being open to new ideas, and embracing change. This approach encouraged employees to participate in identifying areas for improvement and finding innovative solutions. So by involving employees, encouraging that open communication, empowering teams, and fostering a culture of collaboration and continuous improvement, she promotes a more democratic and inclusive environment within the organization. If you have any other democratic leaders that stand out, please put them in the chat. I would love to see other examples that are prominent for you. And I will talk about the affiliate leader. So the affiliate leader develops emotional bonds with employees. They create harmony among teams, are excellent at mending team issues, and are best at motivating team members, especially during stressful times. So I wanted to take a minute to have a little group chat on affiliate leadership. And I will unpin myself so we can see each other. And does anyone have any thoughts on when affiliate leadership is effective? Does anyone lean into that style? Do you have experience of when it's benefited you? Mm-hmm.
Just noticing the chat here. Natalia saying clearly in stressful times.
Yeah, times of change. Yeah. Yeah, another one is team building. So when you're forming a new team or you're bringing together diverse individuals, that relationship building can be key there. And on the flip side, what situations may not be appropriate? I can throw an example out there while it's percolating. Crisis or urgent situations, when really decision making needs to be ASAP, there can be issues and delays during those crisis and urgent situations. Does anyone else have any thoughts on when it might not be appropriate? So other scenarios where it might not be appropriate is like a highly hierarchical environment. So where there's a really rigid chain of command, an affiliate leader may find that really challenging. Okay.
I've been here. What about when a company is, let's say, undergoing, I know we talked about undergoing change or even experiencing layoffs, for example. How does the affiliate leadership style maybe show up there? Not to put you on the spot.
Well, the relationship building would be a huge benefit there for the remaining staff. So building up the morale there for the layoff survivors, if you will, can be very beneficial there. One thing to keep in mind is that it is important to note that leadership styles are not mutually exclusive, and effective leaders often employ the combination depending on the needs. But we are going to talk about the commander, who leads with an iron fist, expects compliance from team members, can bring teams together during rough times, and is best at managing challenging team members or clients. So if you want to, painful and a new leader. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up on the chat here. Yeah, Natalie, thanks for that. If you have anyone in mind who is a commander or well-known for leaning into that style, does anyone come to mind there? And when a commanding style may be effective? I can give you a hint. Gordon Ramsay is one. And while we're getting that going, I'm going to share with you a case study about adapting from a commander leadership style. So this one in particular is a leader whose style tends to be commanding, a project manager leading a team of software developers in a really fast-paced tech company. So she was using a commander leadership style, emphasizing really clear direction, strict control over the project's execution, which it comes from a well-intended place. Rarely is it ill-intentioned, but she realized that adaptation was necessary to address the evolving needs of the team and the project. So the situation is the project team was working on a really complex software development project with really aggressive deadlines. So originally, she adopted the commander leadership style to ensure there was clarity, productivity, and adherence to quality standards. However, as it progressed, the challenges that emerged were low team morale. So teams were starting to feel really overwhelmed and burnt out due to the demanding nature of the project. So that rigid control and directive approach really began to stifle their creativity and autonomy. Hindered the dialogue and lack for needed collaboration. So they weren't able to overcome any obstacles and deliver the high quality results, because they were being hindered on idea sharing and the exploration of alternative approaches. And then some team members had really valuable insights and skills that weren't fully utilized under the commander leadership style. So their potential for growth and contribution was limited due to that lack of empowerment and involvement in decision making. So, recognizing the need for change, she decided to adapt her leadership style to better address the team's challenges. So, she transitioned towards more of a participative, empowering leadership approach. And I'll see if you guys can decide what leadership style she leaned into. So, she transitioned towards the more empowering, participative, by empowering the decision making. So she began to involve team members in the decision making process, encourage them to contribute ideas and insights, solutions, and really fostered a sense of ownership and empowerment. She created an environment that promoted the collaboration and open dialogue, organized brainstorming brainstorming sessions, and encouraged team members to share their perspectives and suggestions freely, focused on identifying and utilizing the unique skills and talents of the team members. So delegating responsibilities, providing opportunities for skill development, and really encourage that professional growth. So this allowed team members to expand their capabilities and contribute to the project success. And then she demonstrated flexibility in adjusting the project timelines and expectations when necessary. So recognizing the need to adapt to the changing circumstances, listening to the concerns and challenges raised by the team, and then demonstrated that understanding of flexibility. That allowed her to also build more trust and enhance the team morale. So the adaptation of the leadership style, those positive outcomes ended up improving team morale, enhanced collaboration and innovation. So that shift towards a more inclusive leadership style really fostered that idea sharing that I mentioned within the team and led to more creative problem solving and the exploration of new approaches. Increase the productivity and quality. So that adaptability and empowerment resulted in higher productivity. The team members really took ownership. They embraced their accountability and really did strive for excellence in the end. The individual growth and development. So they had those increased opportunities for growth and were able to expand their skills. And that led to a strong, more capable team going forward as well. So by recognizing the need to adapt and adjusting her style, she really successfully addressed the challenges faced by the team. And the shift towards more of the leadership style resulted in that improved collaboration and the project outcome. So does anybody kind of know what leadership style she adapted to? Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Okay, we're going to head into pace setter. And so the pace setter sets high expectations for their team, provides complete autonomy over your work, provides very little management support, and is the best at getting the most out of highly competent and skilled teams. So when understanding if this style is effective for your team, how do you identify if you have a competent and skilled team? How will you know that this leadership style will be effective with your team? Does anybody lean into pace setter here?
So I would say at our company,
Mhm.
we're a consulting organization, so we do projects. That's basically what we do. So we do
Yeah.
have some people that are, I would say, are probably pace setters. And because we have a lot of very highly skilled technical
Yeah.
people that are pretty much in a leadership type of role themselves because they're just really good at what they do.
Technical
We do
leaders.
have those that I would consider pace setters because they don't really have to do a lot of management of them. It's more of just being there when they need them and that type of thing. So I would say we do have some, what I would consider pace setters here for sure. So
Awesome. Awesome.
I also had a team where it worked because it was a small team and everybody was of about the same level and similar, had similar preferences to level of management. But the bigger the team, the more diverse people you have there, the harder it is to apply this because not everybody thrives in
Right.
this approach.
And how did you find the adaptability once the team grew and maybe they weren't all on the same level?
You engage other parts of like other leadership styles with different people, and I also leaned to empower more senior team members to coach and mentor more junior ones. So it's not necessarily that I do more management with some folks, but they get support from teammates too.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Natalia. That's great. Anyone else have thoughts there? Awesome. So one well-known example of a leader who exemplifies pace-setting leadership style is Steve Jobs, so the co-founder and former CEO of Apple. He was known for setting really high standards, pushing for excellence, and driving his team to achieve very ambitious goals. Had very clear vision of what he wanted to achieve, sets aggressive deadlines for product development and launches. So while a pace-setting leadership style can be really effective in driving performance and achieving results, it can also cause high levels of stress and pressure within a team. And Jobs' leadership style was often described as demanding and even harsh at times. However, his relentless pursuit to excellence and his ability to set those standards for innovation have had a profound impact on the tech industry and the success of Apple. But I would say it is imperative to know when to adapt, like you said, Natalia, to team members that aren't necessarily at the same skill level, and the pace setter style for a significant period of time, being mindful of that stress and pressure. The visionary. So the visionary has the ability to apply creative thinking and develop a grand vision driven by a sense of purpose, can mobilize a team to get behind their vision, and is best for unifying a team working towards an ambitious goal. So does anyone have any guesses on who my example of a visionary leader will be? Okay, so our visionary example is Elon Musk as the CEO of SpaceX. You could use Tesla, but we're going to talk about SpaceX today. So prominent example, we'll explore how he demonstrates the visionary leadership through his actions and decisions. So he has a very bold vision for the future of space exploration, wanting to revolutionize the industry and make it more accessible and affordable. So he sets very ambitious goals, such as establishing self-sustaining colony on Mars. And he uses that to inspire and motivate his team. He very effectively communicates his vision and goals to the team and to the public. So he articulates his compelling narrative of the future that he envisions, emphasizing the importance of space exploration for that long-term survival and progress for humanity. So that helps align the efforts of his team members and stakeholders. They really drive innovation there. So he encourages his team to think outside the box, challenge traditional approaches, and pursue groundbreaking solutions. Under his leadership, an example of this is they pioneered reusable rocket technology. So that's significantly reducing the cost of space missions. Demonstrates long-term thinking and resilience. So he's acknowledged that in achieving those ambitious goals, that requires time and perseverance. So despite failures, such as they've had rocket launch failures, setbacks in developing the new technologies, they really remain focused on the long-term vision and then make sure to learn from the challenges that they're encountering. Inspires and motivates his team members by instilling that sense of purpose and meaning to their work. So he really encourages them to embrace the company's mission and contribute to the advancement of space exploration. His passion and energy and commitment is serving as the source of the inspiration for the team. And then he's also willing to take calculated risks and embrace an iterative approach. So he encourages the team to experiment, learn from failures, and iterate on their ideas. So this approach has fostered that environment of continuous improvement and innovation. And then our number 6 style is the coach. So invests time in understanding employees' strengths and opportunities for growth, creates a safe to fail environment, builds employee empowerment and confidence, and is best at developing team members' performance for the future. So adapting to a coach style here for a minute, everybody, what are some coaching questions that you can ask your team, say, to ensure they understand expectations, learn from mistakes or failures, or communicate openly about their strengths and learning edges? For those not overly familiar with the coaching style, questions tend to start with like who or how or what. We don't really dig into the whys of things, but it's really like, how are we going to move forward from learning from these challenges or mistakes? Does anybody lean into a coach approach in your leadership style?
All sorts of questions, starting from what do you think the difficulty is where it's coming from, what we can influence, what is the most important thing to address at the moment, where we will get the more outcome. Like the focus is to get your team to share ideas and opinions and observations and give them an opportunity to come up with a solution by encouraging their ideas. And again, like not being the leader who's like, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Have them own it.
What can we influence? I like that one. I like that one.
One of the important thing with coaching is how will we see that we get where we want? Because if people get a sense that they're driving the process, the project, and are coming up with solution, there needs to be a way to see that we're getting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I'm going to put you a little bit to the test, and we're going to look at some statements and see if you can identify which leadership style. So the first line here is, I lead with an iron fist and invest in managing challenging team members. What leadership style would that be? Natalia says commander. Scott says commander. Anyone else? I empower my team in a safe to fail environment. This one might be tricky because I did mention safe to fail in a couple different styles. That's right. I did also mention it, I think, in Democrat as well, or visionary. I have high expectations for my team and let them work autonomously. There's only 4. There's only 4 left.
Which 4 are left, Em?
So there's pace setter, visionary, affiliate, and Democrat. Yay. Next one is, I inspire my team with purpose and my ambitious goals and vision. Talia says visionary. You know, visionary, Justin. Okay. You got it. Awesome. I am a motivator who builds bonds with my team members. Is that going to be affiliate or Democrat? Affiliate. That's right. So then I foster collaboration, ensuring my team feels heard, leaves us with Democrat. Good job, everyone. So I want to do a quick poll now and find out what style that you believe fits you most. So
while everyone's putting in their vote here, which style would you say you lean towards?
It depends on the scenario. I would say probably affiliate coach, and then if it's stressful, I jump into commander. But my main style, actually, I should say my main style would have been affiliate, and it's kind of shifted into a coach.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
I would say leading with coach, and then probably Democratic.
Mm.
If I was to choose a second. Granted, we're not letting participants choose two, so maybe we should limit ourselves.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have pulled from all of them. Yeah. Did everybody get it? Oh, we've got 9 out of 14. So far we have 33% are coaching, 33 pace setting, and then 11 for affiliate, Democrat, and visionary. Does anybody want to speak to their selection? Does anybody want to jump on their mic or in the chat and speak to their style? So we've got the majority so far coaching and pace setting. Interesting. Awesome. I'd also be curious to know if you thought you were one style, and now that we've gone through all of them, was anybody surprised and discovered that you actually are something else? Okay, so I wanted to take some time to have a bit of a group discussion before we move into action planning so that you can talk about your adaptability. So, and I'll pop up the questions here so you can take a screenshot as well to have them with you, because they are helpful to use to coach your own adaptability development and ask yourself. Yeah, no, the commander thing was interesting. Yeah, lots of coaches, which is, as we said, a great style in most scenarios. Okay, so when we're looking at adaptability, how are you adapting your leadership style to your team? And what style is best suited for your team and environment?
Well, I don't know if I would say that I'm going to share anything that everybody's going to take away, but one thing I can say is, I know Natalia mentioned, no commanders. I think, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, I think probably most people are probably calling in from a corporation or some kind of organization, right? And I do believe that in the world that we live in now, I don't know that commanders is really conducive to getting people to want to work for your company, for people to really work extra, put that extra effort in and really care about where they're working. I just feel like that style is, I hate to say outdated, but maybe that works in certain, maybe in the military, maybe in other instances. But I think, in corporate America, I don't know that that really is conducive. I know our company, we're a small organization. So we are, like Natalia said, we're kind of, at that, we've got that advantage where we can have styles that are more collaborative. We don't have to really take too much of a stronghold, but I would say leadership styles for even our leaders that are at our company, very collaborative, very transparent, very communicative. I mean, we just, and what I see honestly from our team because of that style is, again, people loving where they work. They go the extra mile. That they'll say things like, oh, I'm going to stay and do this because Alitech needs me to do it. I love the fact that everybody cares about what they do and they care about the company. And I do believe that comes from the leaders, their style. So for us, that just works. It works great. So we're fortunate. And honestly, I love where I work. It's like to think about going somewhere else is really tough, because once you find a great environment like that and everybody working so well together, it's tough to think about going somewhere else, where I do hear people talking about very toxic environments, and that would be tough to be in. So.
And I agree. I do think that the commander style versus being a primary now is just something suited towards those like crisis situations or employees that need that really direct instruction versus being like a day-to-day encounter.
Ironically, I think current market situation, at least in tech and specifically in startups who struggle with their financing at the moment, who struggle to raise money, what I have experienced in my most recent workplace before I got laid off, hence interests about other workplaces, we got a new leader whose main style is commander. And that was very interesting because it is different from democratic, from coaching, from affiliate, from most of the styles that we're looking at. It is effective in crisis, and many startups right now find themselves in like high-paced crisis-like situation. So it works, and it does make other leadership styles irrelevant. It's very hard to combine multiple in one company, and you have more than one manager or director or whatever. Like, they need to work together and complement each other.
If I can jump in and add to what you had said there, Natalia, I think my understanding is that, even just going through all these leadership styles, it's not that one style is necessarily better than the other, but depending on the team, depending on the environment and the situation you're facing, there might be one leadership style that could thrive more effectively. And, I can imagine most of us wouldn't want to live under a commanding leadership style for throughout our entire career. That being said, maybe there are situations that might require more of that style to help bring the team, help bring the organization to steer the ship to where it needs to go from that perspective.
Every style has their value. Every style has their value and their place. So it is interesting. And that's why that adaptability piece is really key in understanding what you can utilize and when. If you guys want to keep that going in the chat, that would be great. And we'll shift into your action planning. So in order to take action on developing your skills in the area we've touched on today, it would be great to hear from some of you and answer these questions for yourself. What's your key learning here today? What are your next steps with your takeaways? And then what do you need to make that happen? And lastly, what could get in your way and how can we work around it? So I would love if somebody wants to come on your mic, or again, feel free to go in the chat. It looks like people are comfortable with the chat. What are you really taking away from today? What were the aha moments or light bulbs? And what are you compelled to do with it? I would love to hear it. It would be interesting to incorporate questions around adaptability when you're interviewing leaders, for sure.
So I really like, Tara, what you were saying about that, about interviewing, because I do recruiting for our company. So what I love about that is we're hiring right now a couple leadership roles. And I absolutely agree that that is very important to also understand. And so I think was my takeaway. We're adding a couple new leaders. We are also putting a new management level within our organization as we're growing. And so these people will now be having direct reports when they didn't do that role before. So I think it's really important, understanding all these leadership styles. And like you had said, what works for your team, and I agree with everybody saying that it does fluctuate, right? Like you can be a coach and you can be an affiliate, and you can be a democratic. So I definitely think that they all kind of can complement each other, but also understanding the kind of leadership styles that will work. So when we're kind of putting these individuals in a management role, that they'll be successful, and the team will enjoy the environment still and the culture. And so, so that I appreciate all the insights that you gave today. So thank you for that.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. For those of you who found the presentation helpful and you're looking for more, we're offering complimentary coaching sessions to anyone who joined the webinar today. And what you'll get is a free 30-minute strategy session looking at developing your leadership style and adaptability. So if you're interested, you can scan the QR code here. We can put a link into the chat. And you just book a time with your name and your email, and it takes care of the rest. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure connecting with you all, and I'm happy to stick around for the few minutes we have left if anyone wants to continue talking leadership or leadership development.